People are starting to budget their booze. Also, we're getting reports that Kleenex is pulling out of Canada. And Bill Gates is getting into chemtrails, or at least fighting the chemtrails. I don't know if you're going to believe that one, but let's jump into all these reports that you guys are sending in from all over the world. And welcome to the report. This is Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant, and you guys send in your reports of what's going on in the world. We supplement a little bit of that with some news stories of what's going on to bring you up to date of what's happening out there, what the media is not talking about. We do want to thank our sponsor, Genesis Gold Group. They do a fantastic job getting people out of stocks and bonds in their retirement portfolios into something more stable like gold or silver coins. Physical coins that are yours. They belong to you. They're in a vault because it's a retirement account. But when you get distribution, they don't give you cash. They give you those actual coins. So there'll be more information at the end of the video for them. So Bill Gates and Google have gone into a partnership with this thing called breakthrough energy. And what are they concerned about? They are concerned about contrails. Apparently clouds are bad now, so what they're going to do is they're going to mess with airplanes so there's less contrails. And if you're like, should he be doing that? I mean, like, let's just say this isn't nefarious in any way, shape, or form. Doesn't that just, I mean, is he just trying to work everyone up? Because, like, it's like Alf back in the 80s, right? The alien that wanted to eat the family cat, right? Every time he tried talking them into letting him eat Lucky, the cat, if Alf was going to take the cat for a long weekend drive, you gotta be a little suspicious, right? I mean, it's just like, maybe you shouldn't go there, Alf, because that's just gonna, make everybody a little suspicious of you. But anyway, Bill Gates and Google, in their partnership in breakthrough energy, they're going to use computer models to divert planes to places where they won't create contrails. So they won't be putting things on the airplanes, but the idea is they're going to start rerouting airplanes all over U.S. airspace. Normally people travel, airplanes travel relatively in these corridors and that kind of thing to get across the country. But instead of that, they're going to actually route them all around and up and down in order to take them into air pockets that aren't going to create chemtrails. Or contrails. Freudian slip there, right? Anyway, so now I think maybe some conspiracy folks might concern conspiracy folks. It's not a theory if it's true, right? Anyway, people concerned with deep state kind of stuff happening might see this as like maybe a way to move the airplanes around. One, so maybe they don't create these contrails so you can't see what they're dropping on you. And two, moving the planes around so that they can more effectively cover everything. So if you're in a corridor where planes are flying overhead, maybe you're having issues growing stuff. But maybe if you're just a few miles off that corridor or 10, 20, 30 miles off that corridor, maybe you're having a great time growing stuff. Anyway, all that to say, I'm not fully necessarily on board with some of those conspiracies. I just don't have enough information. And I know some of you guys absolutely are very concerned about what's going on with that. But what I do know is Bill Gates should just not get in. Don't do anything with airplanes. Like, just stay away from the airplanes and the contrails. Just stay away from. Anyway, so Square and Cash App had a crash yesterday. For almost a full day, Square and Cash App were inaccessible. Now, for those of you who don't own a small business, never done any kind of thing like that, this is a really big deal for small businesses. I almost got onto Square for my Amazon business. I was selling some candles and some novelty items that are so specific that if I say them, they'll take you right to my company. I don't sell that stuff anymore. Funny joke gag stuff, right? Anyway, so I almost got on Square myself, so I can make payments, take payments at like farmers markets and that kind of stuff. But I didn't, but I was almost there. But a lot of small businesses use Square not just for payments, right? It's not like, oh, okay, they can just take cash now. They weren't able to produce invoices, receipts, or track inventory. Square does a lot of things. And so for them to be down for a whole day was really rough on a lot of people. So just be thinking about all these things. What computer programs are you dependent upon? What are you dependent upon? And if you're really dependent upon certain programs or certain services or power or whatever, what are you doing to become more self-sufficient, more resilient in case these things go down? If you're a small business owner, are there ways that you can continue to make sales without throwing off all your inventory counts? Can you produce invoices outside that program? I mean, not that you want to do that, but like, can you do that? And making sure that you actually have records of your inventory. What happens if Square goes down completely forever? Surely that won't happen, but if it did, can you continue on? Or would it be a super, super big inconvenience? This is from Marlene. I just went to the grocery store in my town. Everything was low. Many shelves empty. This is in southern Jersey. Now, I am assuming that's New Jersey, not over in the UK, but pretty sure. Mario gives us this update from central part of Mexico. 2 hours away from the capital city, went to the grocery store last Sunday. Every aisle looked like it was ransacked. Lots of empty spaces on the shelves, especially pasta section. The cost of baked goods, especially bread, has gone up and the quality has gone down, even with other flours like corn flour. Just the other day we were hearing from Colombia, right? Not South Carolina, Colombia, the country, right? And now we're hearing from Mexico too. Very similar things. We're seeing food shortages popping up in those places, especially outside the cities. Viewer in eastern Tennessee. Target had half of their refrigerated section emptied due to it not working. Other grocery store stock seemed lower than usual. It could be a one-off, but let us know if you're having any issues with Target in your area. If you actually go there anymore, I don't know. Maybe you're part of the people that don't like them for some of the things that they've been standing for recently. I never liked them in the first place, you know. It always just felt weird in there. The color scheme just it's very off-putting to me. I don't know. Does anyone else feel uncomfortable with all the red in Target? I don't know. Maybe I like the soothing colors of Walmart a little more. I mean, it's at least comfortable, right? The red just kind of very agitated. That's why people fight over things in Target for no apparent reason. Anyway, Coffee First says, I know you mentioned it a few months ago, but as of September here, actually next week, 9/13, so next week, in New York, if you buy any Freedom Seeds, you now need a background check. So that comes into effect on the 13th of September, that if you buy any Freedom Seeds, you need a background check in New York. So if you need to buy any up there, you might want to get them soon, because otherwise you can't buy them online, right? This is from Thomas. My wife and I took a trip to Northeast Texas last week. I noticed that there were little to no cattle on all these huge cattle ranches. Sad to see those once cattle empires dwindling down to nothing. Now, that's anecdotal, and we've gotten some anecdotal stuff out there, but let me fill in some of the numbers that we're seeing at the national level, and you decide whether there's a problem or not. Beef herds in the United States are at the smallest level since they began recording the size of the beef herds since 1971. So there could have been a year where we had less beef cattle, but we don't have any record of it. Back in 1971, when they started counting the heads of beef, we had 203 million people in the United States. We now have 331 million people in the United States, and we have less cattle, beef cattle, now than we did then. So you just think about whether that's a problem or not. We've been saying buy beef because it's about to go up dramatically out there. Beef in cold storage. So they slaughter the cows, cattle, whatever. They get the meat out of them, right? And chop them up and put them in the freezer. Well, last year there was 515 million pounds of beef in the freezers. And this past month there was 420 million pounds of beef in the freezers. Down 20% in 1 year. And friends, it's about to get real out there, because why we have so few cattle out there is because farmers have been selling to the slaughterhouses as fast as they can. And, well, they're going to run out of cattle soon. And there's, when we start talking about numbers of, we've done whole videos on this, they just aren't calving as many, beef cattle. And there's just not enough beef cows out there to calve enough calves out there. The population is dropping, and it's going to continue to drop in through 2024 when they're hoping that it's going to start turning around. Friends, it's going to take a while. It's going to take a while to rebuild the beef herd, and in that time period, they're going to have to be not slaughtering a lot of cows, a lot of beef head either. All right, so Cindy says there's a 911 outage in many counties in northeastern Pennsylvania. Now, this has been resolved now, but the outage was for 14 counties in Pennsylvania. Another issue. Before we go on to that, this is a question for you. If you're watching this on your phone, do this right after the video, but pull up your phone and tell me, honestly, do you have your local police office phone number in there? Do you have a local fire department number in there? Not the emergency number. Everyone knows 911 if you're in the U.S. If it's something else from wherever. Do you have a direct phone number for them in your phone? If you dial 911 and you get no service, do you have a pre-programmed button, a contact for the fire department and for police and preferably for EMS as well? If 911 won't direct your call, will you be able to get in contact with them directly, or are you going to have to Google that? Because if you're having an emergency, if your house is burning down and you're Googling that, how long is that going to take? Think about that, friends. That's a very practical thing that costs you nothing. It will take you 5 minutes to do right now. At the end of this video, or if you want to hit pause and do that right now, make sure that you and the family members in your family that have phones have the non-emergency numbers or the direct numbers to your local emergency services in your phone in case 911 goes down. Because that's been happening a lot recently. Maui, 911 went down. Nebraska recently, 911 went down. Pennsylvania here now. We're just talking about in the last 2 months. 911's going out a lot recently. Anyway, off my soapbox. Another issue from Cindy in northeastern Pennsylvania. I used to buy Keystone meats from 2 different Walmarts in the Lehigh Valley area. But the other day I was shopping and they no longer had any more Keystone meats. Now, they may be out temporarily, but Walmarts are generally stocking the Keystone meats. And if they don't have them in stock, you can usually order them online still. So go on walmart.com and you can still probably order them for pickup or for delivery potentially. But as soon as you get them, pull them out of the box or whatever and check to see if they're dented. And make sure you're aware of which size you're getting, because there's 2 sizes for the cans, and you may think you're getting a great deal, and then you realize you got the smaller can, and it's not such a great deal, right? So make sure if you're buying in bulk, you want the big ones. Make sure you're getting the big ones. But Walmart's not good at packaging those things, so they tend to get dented. If they're dented, initiate a return, okay? And they'll give you your money back. Oftentimes, oftentimes for me, they haven't even required me to give the cans back that were dented. Be honest out there. Be honest out there. Don't ask for refunds for things that aren't broken. But if they're dented, go ahead and initiate a refund. Walmart's really good about that. So they're saying, I guess I'll have to pay for shipping to buy directly from Keystone. It's cheaper to get from Walmart, I think. So just think about that. Also, one of the Walmarts actually had bed sheets locked in cases. Who steals sheets? Crazy. Welcome to America 2023. And I want everyone to enjoy America in 2023, because realize that America in 2024 is going to be way worse. I hate to be a Debbie Downer on that one, but that's the truth. It's going to be way worse in 2024. I mean, just think of the political ads, and you don't even need to think any more than that. Just political ads, and you're going to have a way worse 2024. And people are going to be on edge and angry and everything all year long. It's going to be rough. If you're outside the United States, be thankful that you don't have an election in 2024, unless your parliament does something stupid or whatever. Anyway, user WU says, Southwest Boise, Idaho, Albertsons grocery store looked like a bunch of shoppers came in and the store was not able to restock. I always look for the ramen, as you say, it's first to go. When people panic, that's what they go for. It was almost depleted. Large holes in the staples like baking items, rice, and pasta. Also, they removed the FIFO, the first in, first out, right? Soup can. They know I'm an accountant, so I know that one. The soup can display, which holds about twice the amount of cans in the same space. Soup is now single cans, which are 4 to 5 cans deep, much less cans available, but it looks full to the inexperienced eye. This is from a different Cindy in central part of Wisconsin. The other one was in Pennsylvania, right? In my local area, Walmart, they had cans of whole potatoes and diced ones, but no sliced potatoes in cans. The rest of the canned potatoes were low in stock, though they were on the shelf. Not many bags of dry beans, only like 2 or 3 left, and had no all-purpose flour, only 2 bags of the 25-pounders. And sugar, they were down to about a dozen left of the 4-pound bags. Not much white rice, but plenty of brown rice in 2-pound and 1-pound plastic bags. Remember, the brown rice and anything other than white rice actually tends to spoil faster and won't last as long because it has higher fat content. It can go rancid earlier. White rice is the best thing for long-term storage. But generally speaking, if you're going to eat it within like 10 years, you're not going to really run into rancid problems unless you're storing it in a very warm environment. Then you might. And if you don't repackage it. If you don't repackage it, it'll go bad before 10 years as well. They were very low on toilet paper, only triple and double size rolls in large packages. There's nothing more difficult than toilet paper math, right? You're looking at this package of toilet paper and you're trying to compare it to this package over here of toilet paper. And it's just like, which one has more toilet paper? Well, this one has more sheets, but these are double sheets over here. And you're just kind of like, I don't know. These have more rolls, but these are bigger rolls. It just makes it impossible. So, but in Wisconsin, apparently low on toilet paper, and paper towels had plenty, except for the Walmart brand. They didn't have none. This is from Lisa. Please do keep your reports coming, by the way. Use the word update and a comment on any one of the videos to get it to the right place, and give us some sort of geographical location to help us out with that as well. Let us know what you're seeing at your stores. Let us know what you're seeing at your workplaces, or people you've talked to that actually have information. If you need to protect your identity a little more, you can email me directly at poplarpreparedness@gmail.com, which is in the description of every video. There's also deals down there that we found online. Also, there's up in the about section of the account. Sorry. Lisa says, I own a liquor store 30 miles north of the Twin Cities. been so slow during the week, but weekends are normal, have normal flow of people. They're not drinking nightly, they are budgeting, they're drinking, can't afford to drink daily anymore. So that's what she's saying out there. RJ says the company behind Kleenex tissues has decided to stop selling the popular facial wipes in Canada. We call them tissues down here, but oh, you said tissues up there too. In a statement to news outlets, including CTV News and a couple others, Kimberly-Clark, which is the owning company, said that they will no longer sell Kleenex as of August 2023. So they've taken them off the shelves. In another account where I've researched into this a little bit, they pulled out because of unique complexities of Canada, which I think was code for a class action lawsuit, which was certified several days later. The class action lawsuit, apparently there was some flesh-eating bacteria or something like that on flushable wipes that they sold, and apparently a bunch of people got inflamed hair follicles or something. I don't know. Anyway, they're suing Kimberly-Clark, which owns Kleenex, and so Kleenex just decided to pull out of the whole country. Anyways, that's just one more reason not to use flushable wipes, including the fact that they clog up lots of things. So if you're using flushable wipes, you might want to check to see if that's a good idea for your plumbing. If you have a septic system, I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to do that. And even city sewage systems really hate you putting flushable wipes in the toilet. Anyway, if you want to get some more information from Genesis Gold Group to find out about some answers to your questions about what that would look like for you to move some retirement funds over there, there's a link right here. If you want to check out another video from this channel, there's one right up here. Thanks so much for watching. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report, out.